I've been recording, forgot to switch on the mic. It's your boy Kobus-The realist OG. Okay, so I'm just going to update you on what I'm actually partaking in. So we can see that this is our EURUSD. There was a weekly gap there which we entered, and then after we had entered it, price consolidated. It stayed inside this week for like, this is 1 week, second week, third week, and on the fourth week it's starting to move. And what we see on the third week is that the third week it swept the first week and the second week sell side liquidity. So there was sell side liquidity resting below here, okay, and then this week it swept the liquidity and then it rejected. It didn't close below the liquidity. So let's go to a lower time frame and see if there was entry or a model which formed. Okay, if you actually want to be more precise in terms of week, this is beautiful. This is beautiful, as you can see. This is the first week here. I'm just gonna write one. Oh, I think it's the magnet. So I'm just gonna write one here. 1, 2, 3, okay. So third, and then we are currently on the fourth week. Stay with me, bear with me. So this is those weeks which we were talking about on a higher time frame, on a weekly time frame. Okay, so let's do it like this. Nice. So this is price on a weekly, on a 4-hour level. This is a level where we're actually looking for entries. So we can see how actually price started to give us started to disrespect this gap here, and then it used it as support to propel price up. But at this point I was not sure whether price is still gonna continue to go up or down, because here we can see that we have a nice model. Okay, so we have a low, a high, a low. So there was a break of structure here with nice gap here. Okay, You see that gap? Price could have went to that gap and rejected and continue selling, because if you can check, we still have intact sell side liquidity right there, but instead price didn't do that. Okay, so what did price do? Price, it didn't respect that level that I was talking about. Okay, the big gray gap, the big gray rectangle is the weekly gap, but we see here that price disrespected this gap again, which was the premium gap when we use the range that I just showed you now. Okay, so you see price traded above that level. It traded above that level, and then it created a model onto that level, on top of that level, if you can see it. So price did something like this. This is a high, this is a high, a low here, a break of structure to the upside. Okay, I think this one is low. Break of structure to the outside, price retested, and then it expanded up. But I want you to pay attention to this. When price was doing that, what did it actually do when it was breaking the structure? So my break of structure, you can use this high or this high, out of the two. But my point here is, from this high to this high, this low and this high, we had a break of structure right there. Okay, and then price created a new gap here, if you can check it. So that gap, what happened, we retested it, and then price started repricing up. And then if you check that gap where it formed at a very confluent zone here. This is a confluent zone because we already have this inverse gap. So now this is our 4-hour inverse gap. Call it a 4-hour inverse. You're just gonna put here one. Quit. Just gonna do this. So this is our 4-hour inverse gap, which formed at the confluence with the 4-hour newly bullish gap. So this inverse gap was a bearish gap, so it's now inverse, used as a bullish gap. But the model is simple here. What I wanted to do is, I want to see a break of market structure or market structure shift away from the fair value gap on a weekly. So this is the high, the low, break of structure, and then the new 4-hour gap which was created. Okay, so the new gap is here. I went long there on EURUSD, and then price again, it seems like there's another gap here which it's promising. So I'm going to look for additions of positions to the upside. So the target is that buy side liquidity right there, and then also the higher time frame. No, I messed up. I deleted something by my mistake. I deleted the weekly separators. So yes, this is how price is printing. So currently I'm waiting to add positions here. Okay, and then we have highs here. We have this high, we have this high, and we also have this high, which is a very high time frame liquidity. Let's do this and show you. Let's see what we have on a weekly there. You can see we have two relative equal highs there. So price is likely to go through those, the buy side liquidity in blue. So this is just DXY. So let's go to EURUSD, which is the pair that I had actually entered. I was also looking forward to see a setup on USD CAD, but it didn't happen. So same thing with this one. Same thing with this one. We can see how price played. This candle, this one, it took out the buy side liquidity here. At the same time, it was retesting this gap. So a retest to the 1 week fair value gap in this case, and we want to see market structure shift on a lower time frame clear, where we can actually look for a setup. So then you see, okay, let me do this. Let me also bring out the weekly time frame, separators, not time frame. We can see that this is equivalent to what? Week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. So we can see how 1 and 2, they built buy side liquidity and then they didn't collect it. That's why we were not interested in everything that was happening here, because buy side liquidity was still intact and this gap was not retested. So the retest of the gap came with sweeping of the buy side liquidity here. Okay, so price started to this, after it swept the liquidity, what it did do, it started to disrespect the bullish models. Okay, so remember, these things of disrespecting bullish and bearish models, they can happen anywhere, but now we are being guided by the context of the scenario. We are disrespecting them at a very important time, when after entering the gap, after retesting the 1 week gap, so after that we disrespect this and check. Once price went below that bullish gap, it never went above it, but that was not clear for me because I want to see a break of market structure. So what price did again, it consolidated and it broke this low here, with 3 big candles, if you can check. Which is a sign for me that okay, price is repricing down. So ideally this is the entry, the gap. The moment price moves the gap, you enter there. But I caught this actually late nyana, and also depending on how the candles closes. Preferably I would like to see a CRT model while retesting the gap. So the moment that the rejecting candle closes, so my entry was here. Once this candle, which is the CRT candle, closed, I went in there, and then price currently it's repricing down. Well, we'll monitor how price is actually performing as the week is moving towards the end. Tomorrow is Thursday, tomorrow is Wednesday, the 22nd. So yeah, let's just see how price plays out. I'm targeting those previous liquidities, but the mandate is to take something as price moves, so that you can get the piece of the pie in case price chooses to reverse. So this is the trade that I'm actually in. that's the update. USD CAD, I was looking for longs inside, for shorts inside this daily gap, but price is not showing structures of selling. Plus we didn't have a break of structure to the downside, and the USD CAD, it's directly proportional to DXY, so I'm not surprised why it's buying. So we're just going to ignore the sell for now, which we were anticipating. And then I was also looking for shorts here inside this big range, but what I'm seeing here is that price is not willing to sell no more. So here we're just also gonna monitor, but we have seen how price has disrespected this gap. So now this is our daily inverse gap. Okay, this is our daily fair value gap, which is an inverse. Okay, so this is a daily inverse gap. Probably what price is gonna do tomorrow is this. It's gonna open the retest the gap and go up, and then I think we can also look for longs there. If you check here, this is a buy model, bro. Like, it does not need a ruler. So we're just going to monitor how price opens tomorrow and retest this level So basically, also a CRT model happening inside this gap. It's an ideal scenario. And then what we can actually target here, what I'm seeing here, is that we have relative equal highs here. So probably a 1:3. So yeah, that is the one I'm interested in. And GPP JPY also, I would like to see this one. That one was what? Wait, that was Euro GBP doing those things. If Euro GBP is buying, that means GBP JPY is probably selling. But what is happening now, I want to show you something which just caught my attention, because initially on that one I was looking for shorts, and then here I was looking for longs. Okay, and the GBPs, I think they are inversely proportional, because one ends with GBP and one starts with GBP. And then by the look of things here, I'm looking for longs, because this is our daily gap here, this is our daily FVG. Okay, so we're going to look for market structure on a lower time frame. You can see how we are having a CRT candle. We're having a CRT candle inside this gap. So this candle is a rejection candle. It served its purpose by going to collect the relative equal lows liquidity. Okay, and then currently there's nothing happening. I would like to see a break of market structure to the upside with momentum. I don't see a break of structure to the upside with momentum. So currently there is no sign of buying, but the moment we maybe sweep this, we go up, we break this high with big candles, maybe we can look for something like that. But currently we're just going to monitor price, what it does. So I'm going to be careful with this one, Euro GBP, because if you check well, I told you that those things are inversely proportional. they're not directly proportional. So here what can be happening is that we have the same model, so price may come and do maybe price may come and do an SMT divergence, while that side is actually respecting the gap. So I was expecting this to respect this gap, but now it seems not to be respecting the gap. But when we go to GBP JPY, we see that price is actually we can see that price is showing buying model buying signs. So we have a buy model, we entered the gap, we're currently rejecting the gap, so we're just going to look for market structure shift on a higher time frame, on a lower time frame, for between 4 hours and 1 hour. So the reason why I say I'm gonna be careful on this one is because, well, another thing why they may not be actually going in the same direction is because you can see the pairs they differ is Euro GBP and GBP JPY. So they're paired against the different country currencies. So that may also play a role why maybe they may not necessarily be in sync, unlike GBP USD and Euro USD. Okay, but yeah, I'm just gonna use the same analogy. The model is the same, does not change. The model is 1 day or 1 week FVG, retest and rejection of the gap, 4 hour to 1 hour market structure shift. So yeah, I think this one it's already disrespecting the model, and then this one it's showing signs of respecting the model. Okay, so Euro USD, well, it seems to be respecting the model on a weekly time frame, and then DXY, it's doing the same thing for me. And yeah, so just these are the only two interesting pairs that I have now. Bitcoin, Ethereum, I'm not interested on anything at the moment. So yeah, peace.